A win for the Giants, the Rapids stay unbeaten, the unpredictable t-shirt cannons at the Trafalgar Centre, the roster is complete, can Phill name that Giant, and a guest that put on a show against the Tuatara. Powered by Be Seen More, it's the official podcast of the MBS Nelson Giants. It's G.I.Antics. Kia ora Giants fans, welcome to episode 4 of G.I.Antics. Great to have you along. Hello Phill.
Hi Hugh.
Phill Jones, along with me, Hugh Beynon, and we welcome Tom Ingham, the man, the myth, Tom Ingham, into the studio. How are you, Ingy?
Thanks for having me, team. What an honour, what a privilege.
It's great to have you. What season are you in now for the Giants?
Season 11.
11?
Yeah.
My gosh.
Holy. Were you guys teammates in your debut season?
Yes. Yeah, first. Actually, I think I got 3.5 seasons with you in the end.
Yeah. There was a couple of sneaky games there towards the end where there was a SOS went out and came in. I was 1-1. Happy to say. And
Your
then,
thoughts, Phill, of young rookie Ingy? Your memories?
He was always excited. Kind of still is. But, yeah, he was always very excited to get away and get on the road. And there's a couple of stories that probably can't share about the initiation of the first road trip. But, yeah, loved it. Came to practice buzzing all the time, just up and enjoying basketball. So it was a great addition to the group.
You came through Waimea College. Ingy played club ball as well. Former night rider?
Did, yep. Yep, once upon a time.
Former future night rider. Good to see we'll get to that part of the podcast today. Been involved in Nelson basketball in every level pretty much the whole way. How are you enjoying it now? What are you, 31?
30.
30?
Yeah, nearly getting there, close to 31. Yeah, it's epic. It's been a bit of a full circle moment, really. Talk about being the kind of rookie, and now Hayden's, well, not a rookie this year, but like all those young guys kind of coming through. Elder statesman now somewhat, but it's always special to pull on the Giants blue. I love it.
Season 2024, we've got a win.
Yeah.
We're on the board.
Yeah.
We're on the board, Ingy.
Yes.
How's that felt? So we record this on a Monday. Win came Friday night. How's that weekend been? Just a slightly different vibe?
Very different vibe. The film session was a whole lot nicer to not get completely broken down, but still look at some areas we can still improve. But yeah, it was nice to get the monkey off the back for sure.
Right, before we rip into it, we start as we always start with name that Giant.
Yes.
The crowd, the audience, the listeners, just begging for more quizzing of Phill after you've put on such a great show so far.
Fantastic showing last time.
Loves a quiz. Right. As per usual, I'm going to go through the career of a former or current Nelson Giant clubs, and you're going to tell me as quick as you can who you think they are.
Right. Okay.
Ingy, I want you to play along, but in your head,
right. I got
you're
you.
much better than
I'll give
Phill.
you like a
You
thing
can give
if
me
I've
a
got
whisper if you like.
Yeah.
No, right. Wellington Saints, New Zealand Breakers, Southland Sharks, Hawke's Bay Hawks, Wellington Saints, Sydney Kings,
Smith Milner,
Nelson Giants, Paderborn Baskets,
Finn Delaney,
Hawke's Bay Hawks, Wellington Saints, Melbourne United, Sandringham Sabres. Finn Delaney.
I got it.
Ingy's got it. Come on,
He's
share.
a-
Share, Ingy.
He's a good mate of mine.
A good mate of yours.
Yeah.
He's played for the Tall Blacks many, many times. In fact, he played for the Tall Blacks the day your son debuted.
Elder
And
statesman.
there's an interesting link between them as well on that day. Wellington Saints, New Zealand Breakers, Southland Sharks, Hawke's Bay Hawks, Wellington Saints, Sydney Kings, Nelson
Ruben
Giants,
No, Ruben hasn't
Ruben's
played.
Ruben.
He hasn't played for the Giants. I'm clutching here.
Paderborn Baskets, Hawke's Bay Hawks, Wellington Saints, Melbourne United, Sandringham Sabres.
Your
He
last
is a
half season he played.
Former MVP of the Souths NBL, pretty recently. He is a 4-time Souths NBL champion and an Australian NBL champion.
And he played for the Giants.
Played for the Giants in 2017. There's a clue?
Storied career.
Your son couldn't wear his preferred number for the Tall Blacks because this
13.
man was.
I can't even think. I can't even
You were in the
think.
crowd.
I was.
Ingy, put him out of his misery.
Dion Brewster.
Dion
Oh, my
Brewster.
Squiddy.
God. Played one season for the Giants. One season for the Giants?
One season.
Did,
of the
yeah.
Giants.
Yeah.
2017.
I'm done. Do not give me. I'm out. If we're doing this again, it's over.
Finn Delaney, Wellington Saints. Finn Delaney.
I was trying to think Breakers. Yeah. Finn didn't play for Wellington. He played for Wellington.
He was supposed
He
to.
signed for Wellington the COVID year, but
Yeah.
it never happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
It wasn't a bad effort.
Well, it was because
Yeah.
Wellington Saints was the first team, and Finn Delaney went to Nelson College, grew up in Nelson, and played for Giants first of all. He didn't go to Wellington to start with.
No, but he played for. He was going to play for.
Yeah, what's the that doesn't? That's
right.
not on the list, Phil.
Okay, move on. Let's go.
Oh,
Fantastic.
good to have you. Right, go Giants, go. Shall we rip into it? 2 new players. Let's talk about them. Big news around town. Kobe Langley. We saw Kobe's debut. And then we'll talk about the new fella, who we haven't met yet, because like I say, we record on the Monday. He had just arrived in Whakatu this morning. We'll talk about him. But first, to talk about Kobe. Came in Wednesday afternoon. You guys met him Thursday night at training, and then had to play on Friday in his first ever professional game.
Yep.
3,003 minutes. Welcome to the NBL.
Yep. Seems to be a theme.
But a couple of buckets, and they look pretty good out there for a first hit up.
Yeah, he's going to be handy. He's going to really help us, I think. Just to have some to help out Naughty in that kind of point guard role. He's a freak athlete, this dude. Like, I mean, obviously foul trouble wasn't great for him, but I mean, just seeing him in the warm-ups was like far out. This adds a whole lot of athleticism to our not incredibly athletic team, but yeah, no, he's going to be really helpful. He looks to share the rock a lot. I think he's going to be able to get into the lane, draw a lot of attention, and then also finish, over around some defenders as well. And more importantly, great dude. Seems like a really top bloke. So it's always nice when you get someone comes into the group and fits in pretty seamlessly.
But that's quite an important part of your role as well, from what I hear over the years. Like, you're the guy who makes the imports feel welcome. I remember at Hunter Howell when you turned up dressed like him to practice one day.
Short shorts.
Yeah, and just like talking to Mike, just saying, Ingy's really important, that part of making them feel welcome. Do you enjoy doing that?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, to me, that's probably the best part about team sport and I think the part that I'll miss the most when I'm gone is those connections you kind of make every day. So, you want to make guys feel as comfortable as possible, and it's overall important to success. So.
What did you make of Kobe? Our first look at him on Friday night.
Yeah, impressive in the warm-ups, as you say. Far out, like throwing down some pretty cool dunks, and I think he's got an element to him where he's quite confident in his ability. We didn't see the best of him. Obviously, he's only been in the country for a few days, and then stepped onto the court, and standard for an import, pick up a couple of quick fouls, and now they've got to sit on the bench, and that just adds to their anxiety of being their first game. First time out of college. Yeah. So having someone like Ingy who can come in and make him feel welcome and comfortable in an environment it's an advantage to those guys.
I think he's quite family orientated as well. Like, he played with his twin brother at college. Yeah. That's a pretty special bond, and then so to leave him as well for the first time. So yeah,
and I think he would have got quite a cool vibe from the atmosphere at the TC, and obviously getting a win and see how the fans get around all the players. Yeah, so I think it's easy to have
just
guys.
A massive ant. I just really quite hope he's just like, what's that massive ant doing?
Please get him a bigger singlet. Do something.
We are. We'll just keep having home games, and then we'll get it fixed. But
but I think he's going to be a real good addition.
The confidence, because like you say, three fouls early, you had to sit down, but then came straight off, steal, bucket, and then just walked into a deep three as well. So he was clearly backs himself.
He can defend. He's a 2-time defensive player in his conference, and straight away you could see the energy he has down that end. I think if he wasn't in foul trouble, he would have been able to dictate that end for sure.
Yeah, and he plays with that intensity. He seems to be. You think about the last few point guards we've had come through with Hunter Hale and Jared West, and now Kobe. They've all sort of got that similar vibe. Hunter was obviously a bit more offensive minded, but Jared West, super defender. If Kobe can come in and play that similar role, it's going to be great for the Giants.
Well, that's the comp that we got, the Giants got. So it's always a little bit of a lottery, right? You have as good a scouting network as you can, and we're pretty lucky with Mike Fitchett, with the connections he has around the world. But still, it can be a bit of a lottery. We saw that with Kavion Pippen last year. He came in, didn't fit in, so left. But same agent for Kobe and Jared West. So the comp came from the agent, someone obviously Mike trusts, because Jad worked out pretty well for us. The comp came that, they're pretty similar players defensively, so pretty lot to live up to. Jay West was a crowd favourite.
And it takes a bit of pressure off Alex as well, and obviously off yourself, and gives you a bit more freedom to do what you guys do best. And that was pretty evident for yourself in your performance in the last game. Having just the option, more freedom to shoot rather than have to be that creator as well. And I think that really showed within the group that having that extra guy helps.
Definitely.
The other new player, Theo Akruba, just coming out of the Finnish league where you played, Phil. Won a championship there, didn't you? The Chorus Liga.
Did.
He's been playing for Cobrat. Do you remember that team? The Cobras?
No. It's a long time ago since I played in Finland. There's probably been a little bit of change.
Yeah, well,
but in fact, it was absolutely freezing.
They made the playoffs. They were the 8th seed and they lost to the number 1 seed Seagulls. Terrible name. But Theo Akruba, 6'11", big guy, went through college in like the COVID year, so bounced around a few different colleges, but good ones, Louisiana, Ole Miss, so played in some good programs. Big, strong, muscly dude, cool haircut. I think he's going to be a crowd favourite. That's the vibe I get from YouTube highlights anyway. He just arrived today. It's Monday, like I say, so he would have been announced, so we can talk freely about Theo Akruba. But I think the man who's going to be the happiest about him arriving is probably Dan Fotu. Because he's been having to deal with the big boppers like Rob Lowe, Sam Timmins to start the season. How nice is it going to be, Ingy, to have a genuine centre out there now? Yeah,
well, I think the biggest thing that has been, I guess, the killer for us has been we're getting out-rebounded pretty regularly. I mean, we've been fighting, and it's through no lack of fight. Like, Fotu's been working his tail off. Greeta's had to play a whole lot at the 4, which, I mean, is obviously out of position for him. So to have some genuine size, I think, to help rebound, to help protect the paint, and then looking at his highlights, I think down the offensive end, I think the TC is going to get up when he starts ripping down the rim a few times. That's for sure.
Well, speaking of the TC and Theo Akruba, that's something I want to try and introduce. Right, and this is I'm not cool enough to pull this off my own, but I think if the whole of the Trafalgar Centre get into it. So whenever Theo Akruba scores, right, I want to get this chant going. Seven Nation Army, like dum 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 dum. I reckon that TC should be going, oh, Theo Akruba. You reckon? Thoughts? Feelings?
That could be cool.
That's tough.
That'll be cool.
I like it. They'll give a good vibe.
It beats bloody Tuatara that they do all the time in Auckland. That gets in my head when I watch it on TV. But yeah.
Oh, wow.
So Trafalgar Centre, if you're going to be there on Wednesday night, I think, hopefully paperwork, everything that Theo debuts Wednesday, and for the rest of the season, I'll get Blair on the MC to fire it up, and we'll get that played, and it's oh Theo Akruba every time he scores.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah. Right. I don't know whether the crowd will buy into it. It's going to be
Nelson crowd.
What? Yeah.
Give them a couple of games, they'll be all right.
You just got to hammer them with that stuff, and then they'll get into it. Yeah, they've adopted a massive ant. They can do anything in this crowd.
If you were playing in Italy, yes, 100%. When I was playing over there, every player had their own song, and if you started scoring, 5,000 people in the stadium started singing your song.
What was your song?
It was cool. I can't remember. I can't remember Dion Brewster. How am I going to remember the song?
I've stolen it like most of my basketball influences from the Sacramento Kings. They do it with Domantas Sabonis. They go Domantas Sabonis every time he.
Akruba's better, I reckon.
Theo Akruba sounds better. You think Akruba's better than Sabonis?
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
The last player we should talk about, he's not a new player, he's in his 16th year, but he made a hell of a difference. We've got the skip back, Sam Dempster. Instant impact, Ingy. And I don't know about you, but as a team, did you have that feeling like Sammy's back from the start of the whole day?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's been around the block a long time now, and I mean, to have his leadership, to have his experience. I think the best thing about Sammy is it's stuff that you don't even realise until he's back in the mix. Like, there was so many like big rebounds, little deflections that we hadn't previously got. That, he gets his hand on those loose balls, and then he's just great. He's a dude that we missed and we love having in the mix. And the thing is, he didn't even shoot particularly well, but when he does, that's a whole different animal. So, I miss my mate, and I'm glad he's back.
He needs to work on his walkout, for one. Like,
Elaborate.
He is coming off a plantar fascia injury. You
No,
know,
not
like he
that. It's
couldn't
more
go
that,
sprinting out there and jump. And
no, but we put him last on the call-outs, right? Because we know everyone's going to fire up. But he likes to... He's like Mecca, right? He
Sammy,
hates the
though,
limelight.
man.
And it's quite a nice little link there. But he just kind of sneaks out, before the MC can actually say his name properly.
Yeah.
So he didn't get the which I was excited for. But I can talk to him about that.
maybe we should have had him first. Surprise him.
Yeah, just straight up.
Yeah.
What?
Panic attack. Yeah.
Instant impact though, Phill with a steal. But like Tom said, I think it was the intangibles, probably the leadership. You know, we saw against the Bulls, a bit of panic out there. You know, when we had that 7-point lead, there's this time none of that. Like, got a really good team stacked with, over 150 Tall Blacks caps between them, over 200 Tall Blacks caps between them, and kept them at arm's length for the entire game. I think a lot of that was probably Sam's leadership on the court.
Yeah, well, one thing I guess you can't teach is experience. You've got to go through the battlefields to come out the other end and kind of see everything. And Sam's been that guy for the Giants for the last few years now, and I think it just showed him stepping onto the court. There was just a different confidence. Obviously, you've got Kobe coming as well, but Sammy brings that leadership, and it just helped the group. You could see it when you were playing. When there was a little down period, he would get a deflection or a steal. And, he got a full court steal there at one stage, turned the ball over, got a really nice deflection on, I think, Beynon, down when he was deep catch, certain basket, he came in, got a tip, and just did those little things that help teams get wins. And he's the glue guy. Yeah. Every team needs one, and for the Giants, that's Sam.
No, it was just really cool to see him out there. Again, because I know it was a frustrating start to the year with that injury for him. It was cool. And the crowd, there's nothing bigger than an Ingham bucket or a Dempster bucket at the Trafalgar Centre the last few years. They're the loudest ones. And let's talk about Thomas Raymond Ingham, shall we?
Raymond.
Let's go to the Rapid League game, right? First of all, those were the two unbeaten teams in the Rapid League. There's only one left, and it's the MBS Nelson Giants. You played Rapid League for the first time.
Did, yeah.
In your 30s.
Yeah, wow.
Thoughts? what was it like?
To be honest, as I was talking to you at the start, it was one thing I wasn't really, I think, as an older player, I was like, far out how the bone's going to cope playing Rapid League and then going into a real game. I loved it. Yeah. It was great. It was just a chance to just play free, not really, stress too much about kind of outcomes, but kind of get myself into the game. And playing with those young fellas too, I really enjoyed it.
Well, you started with a couple of, trying to get yourself on the scoreboard with some shots and some good looks, and then you kind of played creator instead, and you just went full Steve Nash out there. You were directing traffic, eh? That
the
one
old
where you
head
just
nods, trying to get
the
back door.
took a few, chamber, go, and then you threw a ripper of a pass, and he had 4 or 5 assists, but all of them were absolute dying. We were loving it in commentary.
They were good. Yeah. It was different side to Tom Ingham we've seen. Rather than pass the ball to the rim, he was passing it to his teammates. It was cool. It was really cool. And then obviously you saved all your shots for the main game.
Yeah, thankfully.
Yeah. That's where the Raymond comes in. Raymond Allen. And 4 3-pointers, I think.
Well, I mean,
oh no, you had a toe on the line.
Although I did, classic. I did look back, and I do have photo evidence. There was one that was called a 2, and it was very well behind the line. I won't call out the ref that missed that one, but that ref was directly behind me. Not sure how they missed that angle, but but yeah, they did.
He, she,
deliberate thing.
Oh man,
no, those were big buckets though, big moments as well, and that helped the Giants keep the Tuatara away, because that's a dangerous side. Like every time you heard feel like the collective intake of breath every time Corey Webster was coming down the court, just when it was getting a little squeaky in the fourth. Yeah. You've got a world-class scorer out there and another world-class centre out there with him. And
when you say dangerous, they were 11 of 12 from the 3-point line in the second quarter against the Rams.
They dropped 47 points in one quarter against the Rams.
11 of 12 from 3. In a reasonably tough shooting gym. The hoops and cows are not the easiest to shoot on, and they were just nothing.
It sucks.
Nothing but net. Every single time they shot, it was impressive.
Yeah, and they've still got Cam Glidden to go in there, so they'll chalk that up as a great win for the Giants.
They'll be up at top of the table for most of the season, I would say. So it's a big scalp for the Giants.
Hayden Jones and James Matthews in the Rapid League again, super impressive. They're just getting better each week, those two, and they're actually currently away with the New Zealand camp.
Yep.
Selection
Under
camp.
17s, yeah.
Under
selection
17,
camp.
so good luck to both of those two. What's it like seeing them? I mean, you've seen them since they were kids, obviously. You would remember when you played with Phill, Hayden probably running around on the side of the court. So seeing those two now as your teammates, like genuine bona fide teammates, is pretty cool.
Pretty epic. I mean, there's a photo of Hayden doing the mopping the floors that sits on the Giants website, which I think is classic. And now the fact that, you know, he's in the mix, and James Matthews, he's obviously come a long way too. I think he had 70 in the South Island Junior Final, and then had the audacity to actually find me on Instagram and message me. Never talked to the kid in my life, and he's like, "You like that 70 ball, Ingy?" I was like, "Wow, this kid has got some serious
That doesn't sound like James. Really?
But it's awesome, like seeing those, and I think that's the beauty of Rapid League, right? And I think that's going to translate over to the, you know, the proper NBL stuff. It's going to be awesome for them, and I guess the exposure is incredible too. So I'm loving seeing them grow, develop. It's pretty awesome.
Still got Nick Davidson to put back in. He had an ankle injury. Hopefully he's not out for too long because he's having a great season as well. So the gist of what I'm saying is it's all coming together. You know, we've got Kobe in now, Theo's arrived, Sammy D's back. Once Nick Davidson's back, it's a pretty good-looking roster, Phill.
Yeah, and I think we're getting to that stage of the season now where all the teams we're seeing full rosters. So we're going to see, you know, some very competitive games, and the Giants. You had competitive games from the beginning, but just lacking a couple of pieces now that you've got them all. It's kind of no excuses now, right? You're going to get out there, and if you keep playing with the same intensity and add in Theo, I think Giants have got a really good opportunity to make a good run.
For sure.
Great atmos at the TC again. 21 straight sellouts. Producer Todd was there. Thumbs
Shout
up.
out,
You had a
Todd.
good time, Todd? Yeah, he had a great time. It was cool. It was awesome. And what a game to go watch. Like, if you just like your basketball, to go see those guys like Tarangi, and I had a couple of the Nelson College boys at the end, like fanboying over Ruben Tarangi. Shout out Elijah Inwood. Just absolutely like, Hugh, can you ask him to get, can I get a photo of Ruben Tarangi? Like, that was awesome to see, because those Tuatara boys are all pretty awesome role models as well. Right, to the Jets then, who are coming on Wednesday night. They had a strong start to the season when they had Big Tyrell, another former Giant. Remember him? Played for the Giants, Phill. Who had an absolute ripper 2 games and then got called back early by Brisbane. He was on essentially a short-term loan contract, as it were, and they lost an import early in Jasper Rentoy with that pretty bad leg injury. So unfortunate for them, for Coach Natu Taufale, but they've kind of fallen off since then. They're still going to be tough, though. They're not the Jets of the last 10 years, are they, Phill? Like, since Natu has arrived, they've become a tough beat.
Yeah, Natu runs a pretty good ship with them, and he's got them reasonably well organised. And I think it's Heron and Baxter Jr. Like, if those two get going, they can be very tough. They played a game against Hawke's Bay in Manawatu not long ago, and they only lost by, I think it was 1.
Yeah,
and
2, I think. 2. Yeah,
they should have won.
Yeah.
And those two got going and made a long night for Hawke's Bay. So the Giants have got to do a good job on them if they want to get a win.
We've dropped some games for the Jets in recent years. You know, I remember Jaden Bazant coming down here and dropping.
Don't remind me. Yeah.
Dropping 30, and we were on a nice run there. That was the Jay West year, right? I think, and we were on or was it the year before?
No, that was the Hunter
Hale
Dante
year.
year.
Yeah. And we were on a nice run. They're picking a bit of momentum, and then kind of like killed it for us, and that was almost the beginning of the end of that season. So what's the plan for the Jets? Tonight, it'll be tonight if you're listening when the podcast comes out.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I was about to say I can't give away too much, but no, I think the other thing that's worth mentioning, guys like Liam Judd, Campbell Scott,
Scott's having a season.
Like down at the Blitz, you know, obviously Liam had a pretty good season last year, but Campbell was tough down at Blitz. So obviously, like it's the main two in terms of Baxter Jr. and Heron, but it's still maintaining those other guys too. So I think being able to guard one-on-one is going to be a big thing for us and really setting the tone down that end. I think if we can do that, we can get out and run, play with the pace and force that we're always alluding to. I think we're going to be in a good spot.
Kobe will have a few more practices under his belt
for sure.
Theo won't, or Theo might have 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think he's only a couple in.
But we saw in the game just the luxury that Mike Fitcher had around, I can take Greeter off after 5 minutes and give him a rest, whereas the previous games, these guys have been playing through and through. And
And it's not a bad game for Theo to come into because obviously there's not that dominant
Genuine
big
centre.
man, so it's an opportunity for him to sort of show what he can do against some smaller guys, which sometimes is a little bit trickier, but I think for him, not a bad game to come into.
Who was their crazy out the gate big man last year? John Bohannon? Do you remember with the big throw?
Oh,
Big man number
yes.
2.
Yeah, and he was a talented basketball player. He was out the gate as a human being.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all sorts of off-court stories I was hearing, and just crazy on the court, just not listening to coach, not listening to teammates, just doing what he wants, getting in fights, and
Shout out John Buchanan.
yeah, Bohannon. I think. Yeah, I don't want
Oh, no, he's the name wrong.
to tar the name of John Buchanan,
Don't
whoever that
don't
is.
fuck me.
How about Hugh and Phil's over/under?
Yeah, how was it? What were the results? We were sitting at the game
And we
were
forgot
like,
what we'd done.
what were our over-unders? Can you remember?
We split them.
Did we?
So you gave me.
That's what you were telling me.
No, you gave me Dan Fotu. Oh, I gave you you gave me Dan Fotu rebounds 8.5, and I went over obviously, and he was over. You gave me a freebie, and then I gave you Corey Webster points 20.5, and you went over, and he got over.
Well, that was a freebie as well. So nice, gentle way to start.
Gentlemanly
over-unders.
way to start
Yeah.
over under. So let's put some in, shall we, for this one, for the Jets.
Ooh, okay.
Ingy, feel free. Oh, that's,
Yeah.
probably some integrity things we should get Ingy to do it.
I might go Kobe Langley. Let's go 15.5 points.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go over. I'll go over on that.
Over?
I'm gonna go
All
over
right.
on that. They've got some. Yeah. I'm gonna give you a big Theo then. Oh no, I've got to give you a Jet. I'm gonna go Troy Baxter Jr. 5.5 dunks.
Under. Under.
It's a highlight reel.
Yeah,
It includes the
it is.
warm up.
He's going to be trying to dunk everything.
Includes
now,
the
'cause-
warm-up.
Includes the warm up.
20.5.
Okay, no, we're in. Right, let's talk about around the league, shall we? Thanks to Sal's. Sal's.co.nz, use the online code GIANT1/2. Buy one, get one free on any pizza. Available until next Wednesday. Sal's Nelson or Richmond. One thing from Sal's we should talk about, Phil, is the Giants had a lot of home games to start the season. When they go on the road, we're thinking about maybe a few watch parties at one of the Sal's joints, either on Trafalgar Street or over in Richmond on Queen Street, with you and me and some pizza. And then G.I.Antics listeners want to come down. Sal's going to put on some deals for pizza and beer.
Sounds
and,
good.
And watch the
Yeah.
game.
Good.
Yeah. Sounds great.
Yeah, especially as my free Sky subscription that Sky gave me when I worked there 8 years ago stopped the other day.
Oh,
They
wow.
must have done an audit. Yeah. Producer Todd's just chimed in with a live podcast shout, which we have talked about, haven't we?
Yeah.
So maybe that's
Live
something-
podcast, pizza, beer. Sounds like a dream.
Sounds like
I'll come back.
injured. Okay. Yeah. Oh, Hammy's a bit. So keep. We'll announce on Giant socials when we get to one of the away games this year. At least one of the away games. We'll definitely do that this year at one of the South joints. So keep an eye out on that. All right, around the NBL, we've got 2 unbeaten teams. Otago, both of your former team. And Mike Fitcher, an interesting link there, eh? So all 3 of you unbeaten, and they had a win over the Saints. That's all accounts. Things got a bit feisty. I saw a bit of push and shove there between Ty Webster and Lat Mayan, I think it was, Phil. Did you see much of that game? What have you made of the Nuggets? What you've seen of the Nuggets so far?
Well, I saw a little bit of it. Obviously, I say that a lot of teams look at the Saints as the villains, and the team they want to beat, and I'd say that probably adds a little bit of extra to it. Ty Webster came in, quality guy. I think the pickup for them this year has been Ben Henshaw.
Yeah, he had 29.
He is
Some pretty clutch
excellent,
at the end as well.
and he does everything. Plays defense, hears the ball, can score the ball. He's a really big key for the Nuggets team. They've got a good squad. They seem to have a couple of good imports that have seemed to be finding their feet and playing pretty well. Got the big man in the middle.
Kamani Lawrence as well had a big game. He had 24.
Yeah.
They're
a good team. And then they've got a few pieces that have been around the NBL for quite a while now with Darcy Knox and Bardsley, the slippery eel.
Bardsley's hooping.
Great kid.
So they've got guys that have got some experience now that just come in and do the little things. and they've won championship. Obviously, it was the
Two championships.
Showdown, and then the one
Spence of the Giants.
Yeah, they gave the
beat
Giants
us in the semis. That's right.
Yeah. So like they've got some experience, and they've got a really obviously their link with the Perth Wildcats is helping. The one player we haven't even seen yet is Dante Russo-Nance. So what's he going to be? How are they going to fit him? And that's a problem for them because they've got a good guard lineup. So
they do. Yeah. Also, like what I'm seeing from Jack Andrew, the Twizel kid.
Yeah.
Like that's an awesome story. So he's from Twizel, obviously, and then has been with the Nuggets since he was young. And that Wildcats link got him over there as a development player. And he's played 32 minutes against the Saints the other day. That's such a cool progression for him. He's a great young man as well.
Also a St Kilda Saint. Shout out to St Kilda Saints, Dunedin.
Was that your club? What was your club, Phill?
Bowler Celtics.
Oh,
Pretty sure St Kilda might have been the team that got the 105 points. I can't remember.
Well, you put that on St Kilda.
Yeah.
I'm Andy Bay Falcons.
I don't think Tom was playing that game, but they're probably still hurting.
Yeah, well, probably.
The other team, only other unbeaten team in the NBL are the Franklin Bulls, who Giants nearly knocked off. They had a win against Manawatu over the weekend, and they're looking pretty good. Luther Mohammed for one, and they've got Rasbach, and Rasbach playing a relatively small role, which shows you how talented they are.
Yeah, just watching them play last night against Manawatu, they're pretty deep. And they've still got players to come back. Don Kamapoto. There's
Jordan Hunt. Do we
Jordan
know?
Hunt as well.
You good mates with Jordan Hunt. Do we know where he is with his?
Yeah, I don't know.
He had that bad injury in England.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's back soon.
Yeah.
He's a good man.
But there was a little bit of chat. I think they were talking, commentators were talking about the transfer portal.
The trade window.
It's coming up, and the potential that they might be that's too stacked in the bigs. They've got too many guys, so possibly looking to shift one of those players. But whether that's true or not, I don't know. But
so this trade window, for those that don't know, is new in the NBL this year. I don't think there's too much expected this year, but the plan from League HQ is you put it in, and then it gains momentum and it grows as you go. I think it's based on an AFL thing that happened. Exactly what happened in the AFL. Now there's heaps of trades each year in the AFL, so it has worked over there. It's a little bit different to see how it works here because obviously our league isn't big enough. We don't pay enough for just Ingy and Algan and Vicargo, mate. Apart from the imports and some of the other guys like the all year round pros, people have lives, right? It's a little bit different in the NBA. If you get told actually we're moving you from Miami Heat to Golden State Warriors, you're like, well, I'm getting paid like 25 million. Over the next 2 years, so I can deal with that. It's part of it. It's a bit different. So in our league, the players have to agree to the trade as well. So I'm interested more than anything to seeing if it's going to work or if we're going to have any out there.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you say, personally, Nelson Intermediate would also have to agree to a trade for me to actually go anywhere. So it'll be interesting. I mean, surely they'd have to throw in a weird incentive, maybe.
Well, there's an incentive for the teams.
The player,
I think it comes down because if the teams make a trade, their salary cap increases by 5k. So I think that is to incorporate that to the player. But so it's interesting to see how it works and if it works. That's coming up in the middle of the season, so still a while away. I can't see the Giants indulging there. I mean, there has been times in the past few years where one team isn't happy with an import and another team needs that position.
I think that's where it is, right? I think
it could be like, well, we don't want Manawatu. Troy Baxter Jr. hates Palmy, for example. Let's just say that. And he goes, I want to get out of here. And then so Natu's like, instead of just losing him, let's see if we can send him to Canterbury and get someone back or whatever,
Well, it could even be a situation where you have teams like the Giants who have been struggling with that centres position. And you've got someone like the Bulls who have, Timmins, Nafua,
Brantley.
So you could go to them, well, can we get one of those players for 3 weeks? And grab someone out of another team just to help strengthen your group. Obviously, the Bulls probably wouldn't want that to happen if you were playing against them. But, it could be an option for teams going forward. because of the timing of the league and how, we talked about it in our last podcast, is how hard it is to recruit because there's overlaps with European leagues, Australian leagues, and trying to get all your pieces together from the start of the season is quite tricky and risky. And we've seen that with the Southland Sharks already cutting one of their guys. You know, if you're not picking up the right players, it just doesn't work. So it can take time.
Last thing I want to talk about from around the league before we move on to local matters was the Taranaki Airs. I saw a Facebook post because I was thinking about our Rapid League team, about how we're still unbeaten and how long we can keep that. I saw their Rapid League roster pop up the other day and I was like, that's going to be a big Rapid League game. It was like Flynn, Cameron. It was a really nice Daron. Yeah, it was like a genuine NBL team. And I was like, oh, that's going to be a good challenge for the youngsters. But a little bit different night because I guess you got to manage the minutes, right?
Yeah.
Flynn Cameron's going to play 30 in the game as well. So yeah. I'm into the Rapid League. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. I'm loving it. Okay. 2. MBS Whakatū focus, and probably the meatiest one we've done so far, Phill, because there's a lot going on. The Whakatū Blitz happened over the weekend. So Friday night we had the Giants, then we switched, well, you and I and Ben Sheet, the Giants assistant coach, switched straight into school mode, and Sammy D. We had a schools tournament that included Nayland College, where Ben's the head coach, Waimea College, where you're the head coach, Phill, Nelson College, where Sam's the head coach, I help him out, and then some teams came up from Christchurch. Well, Shirley boys came up from Christchurch, and Newlands College came down from Wellington with a former Nelson College boy at the helm.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure I've come across him before, but
he was after your time, I think.
Yeah. But they loved it. They had a great time, Newlands, and Shirley as well came up, and some pretty competitive games early in the season for us. That I think some of those other teams, the 2 visiting teams, have played quite a bit of basketball recently. Yeah. Where Nelson season's only sort of just kicking off. It was a good weekend. It was fun. Yeah,
games at Jack Robbins and then a couple of games at NC. Nelson College, that is, not Nayland College. And a couple of games at Nayland College as well, I think. Yeah,
there was, I think, a game early on or later on Friday, Arvo, and then another one possibly Monday. They played.
Shout out to Ben Sheet for organising it. He is an addition to Nelson. So he 100%. Came up from Christ College with his lovely partner. They're both teachers. Ben teaching at Nayland College, assisting Fitch with the Giants as well. And he has just been awesome to have around. Like the school basketball's humming, right?
It is, yeah. He's amazing addition to the group, or the group of coaches as well as in basketball in general in Nelson. I know Fitch loves having him with the Giants, but he just loves people and loves getting stuff done and organising things. And we had the preseason now, but later in the year we've got the
Whakatū Invitational,
which I think it's grown to like 12 teams, and a lot of really good teams, and it's pre-qualifiers, I think it is, or pre-national. So the timing of it's quite cool because it's like a warm-up tournament for those bigger tournaments, and that's all been organising and puts hours into it, and great for people here in Nelson.
Let's talk about Waimea College. You're a former Waimea College student here as well. Tom Ingham, how did you guys go?
We were 3 for 3. So we snuck past Shirley, which was a tight game. But our first hit out, we haven't played much. We didn't have Hayden. Obviously, he's a big piece of the group. We've got another guy, Joby McCauley, as well, who's a volleyball player, New Zealand volleyball player, but good athlete, good size. So he wasn't there either. So we've got a few pieces to add in. Played in Jack Robbins through Saturday, which is like the home of basketball here in Nelson, and there was a bit of fundraising going on for the roof, which was cool.
What about? So that was the first game that Nelson College ran. I watched your game, which was great, and Cohen the Wish Williams put on a show, and he was awesome to watch again. And then Nelson College played, and there was a fundraising barbecue out the front. Ingy, and Phill was reffing our game, the Nelson College game against Newlands College, and all of a sudden, like, it smelt nice because it was like all the food, and I was like, it smells good. And all of a sudden, in the second quarter, it was like filled with smoke. It was like playing in Greece. It was like someone had fired a flare up in the crowd. Wow. It was literally like you could
barbecue caught on fire. and they had to. I don't think they got the extinguisher out, but they chucked some water on it and then shut it, and then it just started billowing with smoke,
and it all came.
And it was going straight up, and it just there was just haze of smoke.
It was actually pretty cool atmosphere.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
And it was getting thicker and thicker
Yeah,
and
it can't be
thicker.
good for the roof.
Yeah.
It cannot be
There's
good.
big holes for it to escape.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, it was hard case. Never seen that before in Jack Robins.
Yeah.
But yeah, the visiting teams, they loved it. They thought it was great. Yeah,
Yeah.
added to the atmosphere.
It was
Wow.
quite atmospheric.
How was the floor?
The floor was actually pretty good. There's always a bit of a risk with Jack Robins when it's a bit wet outside that it can get a bit slippery, but it was actually okay. And because the weather started to fine up a little bit during the day, but it was a good day. The biggest problem, and this is where I think all of the clubs and the community basketball community need to think about, is the facilities are pretty good, but there's always one thing that lets the facility down, and that's the scoreboards.
In 2 gyms.
In 2 gyms,
Yeah.
Jack Robins have got a brand new scoreboard, and it just wouldn't work properly.
Wow.
And then Nelson College. And
If anyone's out there listening who's a former Nelson College old boy or their son goes there, let's talk, because the scoreboard is...
Haven't they just changed that though?
But
It's a couple of years old now.
both
but-
places are guilty of the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So Waimea College have got the old school one, right? Get it out, plug
Solid.
it in.
Yeah.
My 5-year-old, when we have rep practice, he does it.
Yeah.
He does a score for it. He does a great job. Just +1, -1, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Easy. If a 5-year-old can do it, that's what we're talking about, right? It's got all the info you need.
Yeah,
Nelson College and Jack Robins have gone modern with the...
digital.
You need
Yeah.
an iPad to do the Jack Robins one.
Bizarre.
Never works. The Wi-Fi's terrible. Can't get on. Doesn't work. It kept pausing in the middle of the game. Nelson College, even worse. They got the big TV screen there. No one knows how to use it. Poor old Tony Anderson's there trying to, with his laptop, trying to get it going, working his ass off trying to make it work. It works, and then it pops up, it stops, and we had the flippy charts out.
What, the volleyball scores?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And someone timing it on their phone. It was like, wow.
That's pretty embarrassing when when we invite someone up to our school and stuff, because it's an awesome, historic, epic gym,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Just that
A
part
lot
of
of
it.
history.
Yeah. So some work-ons.
Yeah.
But the basketball was great.
Basketball's cool. Yeah,
No James
great.
Matthews for Nelson College, by the way, just to finish the results. Nelson College won 2 out of 3. James Matthews away. Lost 1 to Shirley by 6, and then beaten the next day by nearly 30, I think.
Yeah.
So turned it around.
Yeah.
But,
I think, again, schools basketball here in Nelson is looking reasonably strong again. I would anticipate that both NC and Waimea should qualify for nationals. Ben Cheat's doing a good job with his nailing group, but again, they're quite a young group, so they're going to be strong in another year or 2, I reckon.
Coming up this weekend, Saxon Stadium, the South Island rep qualifiers. Well, it's qualifiers for national, so it's the mainland qualifying. So all the teams from the South Island, the representative teams, so Nelson and North Canterbury, South Canterbury, etc., trying to qualify from the mainland to national. So it's going to be a massive weekend of basketball. We coached Team Phill, the under-18s, won the nationals last year.
Yep.
So looking to go back to back. The 20s is going to be really nice. The under-20s is the men's under-20s, because they're all the guys that were in the under-17s last year that won the nationals, plus Nick Davidson and Taylor Matthews.
Yep.
But it's just going to be fun. Basketball everywhere. There's boys, there's girls, there's men's, women's basketball. It's going to be great. It's going to be a big weekend.
It's a really good weekend of basketball, because you're seeing the top kids from the regions getting together and playing together, and super competitive. Canterbury come up, and all their teams are always really strong. So, it's going to be it's a fun group to coach.
I should say it's mainland. It's not the whole South Island. That's right.
No,
Otago
it's
and
just
Southland have their
it's
own
top of the
vibe.
south. Yeah, so they have their own zone. Yeah,
From South Canterbury up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. South Canterbury, I think. So it's a real cool weekend. So if the listeners, if you're around in Nelson over the middle weekend of the holidays, get down and have a look. Support the teams. We're a little bit torn in the Jones household, because we have a daughter that's playing for Canterbury this year, which is wild. That's a tough one. But she's our daughter, so we've got to support her.
It's happened before. Maya, the eldest, played for Canterbury a few times.
She played under 20s, but
Yeah.
Nelson's never had a.
Yeah.
So Ava will be playing against under
Against
16 Nelson team, which so it'll be a fun weekend. It'll be great to see the kids playing, and we're hoping under 18 group can continue on with their winning ways. I think it's going to be a tougher proposition this year. We'll have a bit of a target on our backs, I'd say.
Especially Canterbury, who we beat in the final.
And I was talking to Fraser Costley, who's the Shirley boys head coach, and he coaches the under-18 Canterbury boys team. Previously the Canterbury teams have put 2 sort of even teams in the qualifying.
Dirty Canterbury tactics.
Yeah.
Dirty Canterbury. Put 2 even teams in qualify them both, and then stack one of the teams for nationals, taking another region's potential spot there.
Yeah. So this year it sounds like they've picked an A and a B team. So they should have their top team playing together through qualifiers, which will be good to see what they're like, because I think they're going to be a super competitive group this year.
Refs needed and some volunteers needed to help run the canteen. So get in touch with Nelson Basketball Association on Facebook, please, if you do have some time. It'd be great to see everyone there. We'll be there. Come cheer on the Nelson teams and enjoy some basketball. Right. Oh, one last thing for Whakatū Focus. Club registrations close on the 2nd of May.
Wow.
So actually, while we have Tom Ingham here, are we getting any news, or are you going to look after your body in your old age?
Yeah, well, to be honest, the last game of club hoops I played, I was actually went home and said to my partner, I was like, I don't know if I can do this anymore, because poor Jerome Sinclair got an absolute spray as a referee. Phill was the other ref, and we ended up losing the semi-final.
You chose Jerome to spray, not Phill?
Yeah, funnily enough. And I got home, I was like, if I'm getting this grumpy in my old age, I might need to have a wee bit of a break and reassess. But we'll see what happens. No doubt I go down on Tuesday night and...
Trust me, you'll be back. I've been there, done that.
Back to the green and gold.
Gone home, complained to Cat.
Yeah.
And then next week I've been back there playing.
Yeah. The Giants 3 times. Let alone club ball.
Yeah, no, we'll see. We'll see.
Your club career real quickly. So obviously you're a former Knight Rider.
Yeah.
And then were Waimea College playing when you were at school in the Prem grade?
We had my year 13 year, actually. Yeah.
And then more recently you've been playing for the Crazy Horses.
Crazy Horses.
At a Ngāti Koata.
Yep.
Is that it?
Actually, one season we had a makeshift team when I was coaching Waimea College. It was kind of the older Waimea boys, and me and Nick Trathan were running it up. I think I can't even remember our name, but lost to the Stoke Bears in the semi. So
Stoke Bears.
Yeah, don't bring that up.
Well, they've put Aston Inwood and Caleb Chamberlain in their team.
I see that. I see that.
Should call them the Stacked Bears, not the Stoke Bears.
Oh, clever.
Come back to the
Here all night.
We'll talk about the Knight Riders thingy. Right, we're going to finish with shot clock.
Oh, I'm nervous.
In a way.
All right, cool.
So all I can say is thank God you're here.
Well, actually, it involves both of you.
Yeah.
Not both of you. You always said, I'm going to mix it up every now and then. So this is a bit of a head-to-head quiz, okay? So it's like a penalty shootout in soccer. So you're going to name basically all you need to do is name an NBL champion, Sal's NBL champion, and the year they won it. And you can take it in turns. So Tom's going to start because he's our guest, and that's nice. Phil's going to go. If you get one wrong, you're out. And then the other person can win it if they get it, depending on whose go it is, okay? Are we happy?
Cat, this wasn't it.
Are we happy?
Yeah.
Right, so Tom, kick us off. We're in our 42nd season of the NBL. So
Yeah, I know.
Is this 24 seconds?
No, this is
just head to head.
We're just going head to head.
Oh, goodness.
There's 3 easy ones you should start
Yeah,
with.
for sure. 2007 Nelson Giants.
Correct.
1998 Nelson Giants.
Correct. See, we're having fun.
2020 Otago Nuggets.
Nice, the showdown.
2023 Canterbury Rams.
Smart.
2021 Wellington Saints.
That's one of their 12. Done.
Might be here for a while.
Yeah.
94 Giants.
Yep. That's all 3 Giants ones. Gone.
2022 Otago Nuggets.
Correct. That's both the Nuggets ones. Gone.
I was so nervous.
You sure about that?
2022 Otago Nuggets? Yep.
Did you say what was the first one you said?
2020 showdown.
2020.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that one. I must have been listening.
Too really freaking out about your one. Stop buying time.
Because I'm sure the Nuggets have won another one.
Stop buying time.
2003 Auckland Stars.
No. Waikato Pistons.
You're both wrong. It was the Wellington Saints. Auckland Stars won it in 2004 and 5. So Tom Ingham wins.
Honestly, I just watched that. Fitchett sent me this link, and there was a 2004 Auckland Stars game here against the Giants, and the Giants lost in the finals. And I said to Fitch, that game was 2004, and he goes, "Nah, it was 2003." Mike Fitchett, you're wrong.
Is that the one? Yeah, you are wrong, Mike Fitchett. Yeah. Oh, well done, Ingy.
Oh, thanks.
Imagine
No, hang on,
to
he's got to get another one just to make sure that, you know.
I can give you one
No,
more.
but he started. So he
2017 Wellington Saints.
Yeah.
Cheers.
They've won 12. They've won 12.
Yeah.
It's like percentages are quite high.
Imagine
Just
coming on
get-
G.I.Antics and losing to Phill in a quiz. So that would have been.
Oh, I thought I was going to for a while. I was a bit nervy.
Ingy, great to have you here, mate. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me.
I think next week, Phill, we might look to get a couple of the youngsters on.
Yeah, that'd be good.
School holidays. So we might get James Matthews, Hayden Jones in here at the same time.
After the rep tournament, have a chat to them.
Will we get some actual lucid answers out of teenagers? Or will we just get... Yep,
James Matthews will panic. He will be in a frenzy up here.
Thanks for listening to G.I.Antics. See you tonight if you're listening when the date comes out at the Trafalgar Centre, Manawatu Jets, 6:30 tip-off rapidly, 7:30 for the Souths NBL game. And then the boys have got a stint on the road. But we'll still be here every week on G.I.Antics. See you next week.